I grew up babysitting. I was always the babysitter. Everyone in my family brought their kids. After I graduated high school, I started working at a local daycare. I had to go through certification and training. I was just supposed to be going to Chicago to do a modeling job. I woke up not feeling that well, so I decided to cancel the job just because I felt like I shouldn't go anywhere if I'm coughing and sneezing. I was laying around in bed feeling bad for myself. My dad was like, come on, get up, you're fine now. Let's drop this off at your grandmother's house. Me and my dad driving over to my grandma's house, drop something off at the door, and we're on our way back home. As we're sitting at a red light, a car kind of comes flying out of the distance behind us. The light turns green. The car in front of us goes to turn left. The car that was coming down behind us crosses the double yellow lines, has a collision with the car in front of us. They flew across the intersection. One of the cars flew into a telephone pole. The other car spiraled out into a field. Me and my dad just sat there, absolutely shocked. It didn't even really process for me what had just happened, but I immediately started to get out of the car. A woman hops out of the vehicle that came flying down the hill holding a baby, and she's screaming her head off. My baby can't breathe, my baby's dying. At that point, I was already running across the intersection. The next thing I knew, I had just grabbed the woman's baby out of her arms. He was very, very limp. I put my ear up to his chest, and I could tell he wasn't breathing. I began to do abdominal thrust. I look at my dad, and he's frantic on the phone with 911, and he looks at me and he says, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I know what to do, don't worry." I started to flip the baby over and look into his throat to see if I could see anything blocking his airway. You have to use your fingers to sweep their throat. I couldn't see anything, so I didn't feel quite comfortable sweeping my fingers down there because if I couldn't see it, I could just possibly push whatever was in his throat back further. I just flipped him over and I began to do the abdominal thrust until I could hear that he was breathing better and I could see him getting a little bit more color. Once I knew he was breathing a little bit and that the ambulance was on his way, I was just holding him and I decided it was just best to stop. Akron Children's Hospital, they were able to help him. I know that he's doing well after that incident. Just leaving the scene, I immediately called my mom and was screaming and crying. It was just a very overwhelming feeling, and I honestly think it took days for my nerves to calm down. My dad went back to work and he told me, I told everyone what you did and everyone's so proud of you. And so I started getting calls from my dad's friends. After saving that baby's life, my babysitting job has definitely been in high demand. I've definitely had a lot of customers try to come to me and get me to babysit.